Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay. Today we are going to present our presentation, our PowerPoint, our discussion about analyzing article. Uh, the title of article is Effectiveness of Literacy Programs Balancing Reading and Writing Instruction, a meta-analysis reading and writing. The introduction. The identification of teaching practices that promote the development of students' literacy skills is critical to the success of evidence-based reading and writing instruction, which is achieved through systematic reviews of classroom studies to identify practices that improve reading and writing performance. According to the theory of shared knowledge, Sanahan, Tierney, and Pearson, reading and writing are not identical skills, but both are based on the same knowledge and the same cognitive systems. In essence, reading and writing are like two buckets and that draw water from a common well or two buildings that are built on a common base. Shanahan described four sources of knowledge from which it is extracted when reading and writing. Writers and readers use this knowledge to decode or encode words and understand or construct larger sentences or units of text. A model that supports mixed and balanced reading and writing lessons is the theory of rhetorical relationships between Nelson and Calvi. This theory has a social-cultural orientation uh, and conceptualizes and writing, reading and wri- reading and writing as a function of the relationships between the reader and the writer. Therefore, the purpose of reading and writing is communication, and effective communication in reading or writing involves specific processes that inform each other. Can you still hear me?
Yes, you're doing
Yes.
just fine.
Okay, okay.
Yes, we hear you.
Uh, in analyzing the impacts of pre-using and composition, a few edits found that pre-using can upgrade spelling as can explicit types of word as understanding guidance. Significantly more significant, a new meta-investigation of valid and semi-examinations, including understudies in preschool through grade 12, track down that the effect of pre-using and pre-using guidance isn't restricted just to spelling. Understanding text and giving pre-using guidance work on understudies' abilities as spellers as well as improve the nature of the composition, and the meta-investigation introduced in this article broadens this past surface by inspecting whether proficiency programs that equilibrium per-using and composing guidance. Uh, wait, a source includes general, a second source includes meta-knowledge about written language as readers and writers apply and their knowledge of the purposes and functions of text, as well as the knowledge of the interaction between readers and writers to help them interpret an author's meaning and build your own written messages. A third source includes procedural knowledge of how to specifically access information set goals, ask questions, predict, summarize, visualize, and analyze. Readers and writers use these skills when trying to understand the text that they are reading or writing. The fourth source includes pragmatic knowledge of text attributes, including knowledge of text characteristics, words, syntax, and usage. Writers and readers use this knowledge to decode or encode words and understand construct larger sentences of units of text. At wait, this theory has a social cultural orientation and conceptualize. I'm sorry. Another model that supports combined reading and writing lessons is the functional theory of reading and writing relationships. This viewpoint sees reading and writing as separate skills. They are used together to solve a particular problem or perform a particular task. The basic assumption is that when reading and writing are used together to achieve a desired goal, performance or learning is improved. Consequently, reading and writing are tools that can be used together, just as a carpenter alternates between a spirit level and a reciprocating saw in construction. Therefore, the reading and writing are things that very crucial to any readers, especially readers that are also students. By just reading an article, readers can think critically about the content of the article, finding the message or any references that can be used for the future new plot. Next research question. We have two questions here. Number one is the why the theory of this research wants to combine reading and writing instructions must be balanced. Number two, why is this meta-analysis so important in this matter of theory? And then we have research objectives. There are 3 points. Number one, it could potentially increase and possibly deepen students' knowledge, understanding, and insight into how to read and writing and how to use these two skills together to achieve learning and other goals. Number two, meta-analysis can expand on these efforts and directly test whether literacy programs balancing reading and writing instruction assessed through real and experimental experiments improve how well students read and write. Number three, whether literacy programs balance reading and writing instruction and through real and quasi-experimental experiments improve how well students read and write. I'm sorry. Next point.
All right. I'll be explaining the next point, which is the research methods. But rather than explaining, I think I'll just tell the methods. Okay. So the first method is research design with quantitative methods. Emphasize objective measurements and statistical or analyze of the data collected through surveys, questionnaires, or by restate statistical data that already exist. Two, settings. The setting is which is in school where the performance or reading and writing activities often occurs. Three, which is participant, 38 students. Students are the subject or participants that mostly do the reading and writing as the part of their study. And four, data collection methods, which is survey and observation. So it's basically do a survey and observation that is easier that is the easiest way to collect data by interacting to the participant. 5 is instruments that is used to collect the data, which is direct trials. Trials are also the easier way to collect data from the participants since themselves are directly do activity, and we can take a closer look what and how they doing it. And finally, 6, which is data analysis methods. It is statistic. So statistic is one of the easiest way to analyze the data after it's collected, and statistic often shows the accurate result. Next.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we
All
Yes, we
right.
can.
can.
I will present about the findings. In reading, the research summarized in the meta-analysis provide reason for optimism about the impact of literacy program that balance reading and writing instruction on student growth and reader. Three, act, Acting through of the quasi experiment tested the impact of such program on the reading developed with students in preschool to high school. 8 out of average 20 study uh, those of positive effect at the potters, resulting in meaningful and significant improvement of the composite measure of overall reading performance. The finding of from this meta-analysis also provide a reason for optimism of the impact of literacy program balancing reading or writing instruction student growth of writers. Of the 37 quasi-experiment testing, the impact such a program on writing development, 18 out of every 20 investigation produced a positive effect at process. This result in meaningful and significant improvement can compensate the measure overall writing performance comparable to the effect of need for the reading. Um, my voice is clearly or not?
Is it good?
Oh, all right. Next.
Okay, so it's my turn. I'm gonna explain about discussion right here. So can we move to the slide, please? Thank you. So the study features enter into the two meta regression that the research conduct statistically accounted for excess variability in reading and writing effects. For reading, 4 of the study features statistically predict magnitude of reading effects. When considered alone or in combination with other study features, type of test and ratio of reading to writing instruction were statistically significant. For writing, the findings for writing are quite solid, as they were not biased by any of the study features included in the research analysis. So, it is clear that more attention needs to be directed at building and delivering high-quality instruction for both reading and writing in balanced literacy program. So, can we move to the next slide, please, for conclusion? Okay, thank you. So, the conclusion is, it is very important to consider how much confidence can be placed in the general conclusion. First, enough studies were available for both reading in the page 38 and writing outcomes in the page 37 to stabilize reliable point estimates for balanced reading and writing programs in general. Also, second, specific study features were generally not statistically related to the study outcomes. And when they did not change the basic outcome. So the third one is the balanced writing and reading program test in the studies review Here present a variety of different instances of the concept, resulting in a relatively general test of this approach. And the last one is, although the research testing-this approach to reading and writing instruction could have been stronger methodologically, the researchers believe that balanced reading and writing programs improve students will improve their reading and writing skills. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Yes, so that's all from our group 8. And the members are me, Ahmad Firjatullah, and then Aida Agustina Miyamoto, and then Anggun Purnama Sari, and then the fourth member is arlen satya dharma kusuma. Thank you for the attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye-bye, guys.
Good evening.
We are sorry if there
Thank you,
any
guys.
if there we lack something or anything.
If you have any question, you can ask us. Thank you.